will cut off illegal connections in the Hursthill area of Johannesburg this morning. The operation will be led by the Utilities Revenue Protection Unit, the SAPS as well as Metro Police. Illegal connections pose a threat to reliable electricity supply in the city. Reporter Aviwe Mtila is covering that story and joins us now. Good morning, Aviwe. So there are threats that they will be cutting off electricity.
Well, they're certainly cutting it at this very moment. Angry community of Slovo here as they watch as the City Power, joined by the Johannesburg Metro Police as well as the South African Police Service, are on the ground here cutting that electricity connection. They normally get their connections across B, which is just across the street here, and those wires then that have been cut off go into the Slovo informal settlements. In fact, I want to touch with some of of how they feel. Putwam, thank you for joining us at eNCA, but you're watching on as they cut the electricity from your informal settlements. I want to get your reaction on that.
Sir, as I said to you, I'm not happy at all, because now we've got children that are going to school, we've got people that are going to work. You see, we are surviving using this electricity, and we are trying to comply with city to city for them to put a box for us so then we can pay. We can afford to buy our own electricity. Problem is they are not installing for us. So how will we survive? How will you live in this cold condition?
Are you engaging City Power around this? Because they're saying these are illegal connections which they need to cut.
No, they are lying. They've been coming here more often. They are lying, and we've been consulting this with our councillor. Last time, our councillor told them to put another wire for us there. If we did not talk with City Power, they were not going to install that power there. They did that because they were trying to meet us halfway. It means that we have said something. But at this point, they are coming, they are cutting with no solution. They were supposed to come with solution.
I want to get your sentiments, bring you in the conversation as you see the electricity being cut and the wires being cut, which they deem illegal going into Slovo.
You know what, this very thing is very difficult for us, because the way we are surviving here in this resettlement is because now paraffin is 25 rand a litre. And I've got a small baby also. And I must swarm the room with that paraffin. I have to buy something like 2 litres is 50 rand for us to survive, to cook, to bath, to do everything. It's very difficult for us. The government, they must stand up for us. We are also human beings. We are also human beings. They by Jerusalem, they by Princess, they've got meter books. We can afford to buy electricity. Even they say electricity is 300, I can afford to buy electricity for my family to get home. Because it's very difficult. I'm not working by this time. Where can I get every time? After 2 days, paraffin is 50 rand a 2 litre.
But then where are the problems? What's your councillor saying when it comes to illegal connections here and getting the informal setting proper electricity with proper connections?
The councillor is not even helping us by this time, I don't want to lie. They are not even helping us, because if we call him, last time we even called him, he ran away. He ran away. We were busy protesting about electricity. They said, it's June, guys. We are even suffering also. We are human beings. Now I want to do washing, but it's very difficult. I have to warm the water to do washing. What about if I get sick? And this COVID, they say it's flu, what are we going to do? We have to also to get home.
Okay, thank you very much.
This love park has been like 28 years, since 1994.
With no electricity.
No electricity, we are surviving like this.
And
since 1994.
And surely they're going to cut it off now. How do you then regain the electricity once more? Because if it's been for 28 years like this, how do you get it?
Because they are not helping us, we are going to reconnect. Because they are not helping us. They must come and help us. For us not to reconnect. This electricity is very dangerous. This electricity is very dangerous. You understand? Because the child can even touch. What is going to happen? Our kids, they are dying. Even water, okay, water is fine. But what about the electricity also?
Okay.
We are living in a poor condition.
Thank you very much. Some of the community members of Slovo informal settlements are basically saying that once these City Power officials are gone, they're going to do their means to reconnect once more. You do understand they're saying that they aren't being assisted by government, by any of their leadership, the councillors. It's saying that electricity is something that they've been wanting wanting for over 2 decades now. As the lady mentioned, how they've been living here for 28 years without any proper electricity connections. While they've been cut off this very moment, they say that they're willing to pay, but the assistance is not coming in terms of getting proper electricity into Slovo informal settlements.
Aviwe, that's a pertinent point that she raises there, that it's been in existence now for 28 years, since 1994. Clearly speaks to improper planning on the part of government in this respect. But also, it seems there is that common thread that they are willing to pay for electricity. Hopefully, officials will actually address this. Have you managed to engage them a bit to find out exactly what are the reasons, at least they haven't brought the infrastructure here so people can pay? What are they saying?
Well, as you hear, the councillor is AWOL, nowhere to be seen. The councillor that's supposed to be taking care of the people of Slovo informal settlements. City Power is here on the ground. They're saying that they're doing their jobs as these are illegal connections. They don't want to give much in terms of when electricity will be installed here on a more permanent basis. As you heard, that there are children here. Lady mentioning how she's got a young infant that basically needs warm water and warmth around the house. And you heard those economic challenges, especially with the increases of fuel that we're recently seeing. They're saying that paraffin now will cost them some 25 rand, and they can't sustain that. They need electricity basically to keep them going. So it's that accountability from the leadership that we aren't getting on the ground, as they mentioned themselves that the councillor that's supposed to be spearheading and taking charge of the issues of the Slovo informal settlements is nowhere to be seen here.
No, that's very concerning, but that is a humanitarian crisis waiting to happen just there, because it can't even be a conversation at this point which as to what comes first. Services, yes, shouldn't follow the people. It's an informal settlement, but the informal settlement is now there. It's been there for 28 years. It's honestly unfortunate that the services wouldn't have followed now, where there is electricity, and we're talking about people that are not paying, but they have the infrastructure. It's honestly very disturbing, Aviwe.
Very disturbing indeed. In fact, there are elderly ladies here that want to join in this conversation. Mama, just quickly your sentiments around. Siavaktai Slovo has been around for the last 28 years. How are you surviving with these illegal connections?
Every year.
Lady mentioning how they vote every year, and yet nothing has been changing. 28 years living in Slovo informal settlements, the exact 28 years that we've had under democratic South Africa. A real picture in terms of Mfundo, the inequality, and how South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. You'd see just across the street will be that picture of the inequality, as you'd see more permanent shelters with running electricity. But even the people across here, Mfundo, will tell you how this headache of these illegal connections are a burden to themselves. In fact, I'm not sure if I still have time. I would love to catch up with some of the residents that live just across here to find out how they're doing and just basically what their situation is. Because they were telling me that because of these illegal connections in Mfundo, you'll see how it's a double-edged sword. Because of the illegal connections, the people of Crosby, which is just a street away, suffer when it comes to electricity connections. In fact, there's a lady that I want to catch up with quickly. Mama, thank you for joining us at eNCA, but I want to get your sense. You're on the other side of Slovo informal settlements. How is it living, knowing that there are these illegal connections, and how's the electricity flow in Crosby?
Actually, the electricity flow in Crosby is really, really bad. We have power outages every day, literally. Sadly, our people across the road from us don't have electricity, so I don't know what's going to happen next.
Do you engage government in terms of these issues? You have bad electricity connections and electricity flow. On the other side, they don't have electricity. What's government or City Power saying to both communities here?
Well, at the moment, not too much. But this has been done as a surprise for us today. We weren't expecting it to happen. But our people need power. Whether we like it or not, they need power. So that's about all I can say.
Okay, thank you very much. A lady living just across the street from Slovo Informal Settlement, painting a picture of how they have inconsistent electricity flow. Very bad. They suffer those electricity outages on a daily basis because of the illegal connections, Mfundo, that lead to the informal settlements that you see just right across the street. That's the Slovo Informal Settlements that we do understand has been in survival for the last 28 years. The 28 years of democracy that we're currently under, and really a bare picture of how inequality in South Africa is affecting the poorest of the poorest.
Aviwe, we'll leave it there for now, but I must say it's quite interesting to hear the lady you just spoke to on the other side of comfort also stating that nevertheless it may be an informal settlement, but power is needed because it is in fact a basic need. Officials will have to account and state what can they do 20 years after this informal settlement actually came to being, that there's still no infrastructure for at least to test them and see if they would pay for electricity if in fact there was infrastructure for it to be provided. Aviwe will leave it there for now. That's senior reporter Aviwe Mtila on that story for us. To this now, the